did throughout the tournament is finding out who are the noisiest crowds in the PlayStation School Cup. And we have got a basically CS4 to give away to the loudest cheering crowd of each day of the tournament. Now, two people over here at Newcastle. We've got a 50 hands and some extendable lunch. So this has got to be done, I'm afraid, as a warm-up. First thing of a Wednesday morning, where's the noise going to be coming from? Are you going to go solo? There's a lot of pressure. Okay, can we consolidate? Can we consolidate? I think it's all about unity here. Are you ready? Has anyone got a community to discuss? Okay, are you ready? Imagine you just scored your 99th goal to nil, and this is the noise you're going to make. 1, 2, 3, Newcastle, let's do it! It's pretty good, it's a 96.6 decibels, that's enough to deafen a small child. Well, that is formidable, Let me jot that one down. Well, I did an experiment and I got all the girls to shout and speeches basically, like, and all the guys and high pitch, like, and actually it is about pitch, not volume. You might think the young people are a bit louder, but you did that, didn't you? Yes, we did. So for the day, the decibelmeter on my tachometer, 96.7 is the volume to beat, but of course we've got some Catholic grammar school over here. You can think to be noisy, you've got some clappers. Your school can win a PS4 if you can make the most noise of the day. This is about synergy, which means all of you together are noisier than the individuals alone. Are you ready to go absolutely bananas? Imagine you've all just passed your A-levels and you've got A star in every single subject. What kind of noise are you going to be making today? I'll tell you what, it was strong, but not as strong as Newcastle. It was only 95. There we go. So look at the big lungs over there. Some strong arms. Okay, and 95 decibels. That's enough to give tinnitus to a kitten. So you've still done well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your teams to the
Good
field.
morning and welcome to the Medeski Stadium in Reading. It's the home of the PlayStation Schools Cup Festival for 2018. A fantastic venue for what is a fantastic event. We've already had 2 days of absolutely excellent football and coverage. And, coverage. I've already blown our own trumpet.
I was just thinking that.
But we have had a really great time here, and this is the Under-13 Small Schools Cup Final. Newcastle School for Boys up against St Bernard's Catholic Grammar School. The team's just going through the pre-match rituals. We have had a great time here, but I think it is one of the highlights of the year for us and the crew here at 24/7. I know John's always enjoying himself. I think Champions League final might just peak it if Liverpool win that on Saturday. Let's have a look at the teams. Max Metcalf in goal for Newcastle. It's Will Varley 2, Bobby Johnson 3, Jake Scott is 12, George Riley 5, Oliver Fletcher is 6, William Hodgson 7, Lucas DeBall is 8, James Harper 9, Oliver Malarkey is 10, and Zach Munir will go fast. Sorry, Zach. Zach Mooner is number 11. Kieran Waterson is the manager. Here, Steve Harper is here, former Newcastle goalkeeper, quite recently. Is here with the Newcastle team. For St Bernard's, here's Harry Gallia, 1. Connor Bardwell is 2. Osi Obomigi is 3. Dominic Bannon is 4. Frank Cotter is 5. Liam Kithingi is 6. Harvey Desang is 13. Samuel is 8. Thomas Abanda is 9. Charlie Amasanti is 10. And Demri Akpata is 11. Mark Rochester is the manager. Do apologise for hesitating. These are the first times I've seen these names on the screen as well. We've just got in early this morning. Dylan Roberts, Rory Nicholson, Cole Cartmel, Phil DeCastino, Miles Percy, and that's for St Bernard's. It's Martin Bain, Harry Gupta, Toby Ogachukwa, 14, Parth Patel.
And that rounds up all very easy to say names from an arts.
Parth Patel is 15 and Previn Maviafansan is 16.
Okay, I got the relatively easy one. So your roster for Newcastle.
So here we go. Myself, Adrian Battersby, and with me, former, which order shall I say today? John Scales.
Good morning.
Former England player. Joined us as he has been all week, and John, we have had a great time. It's been an unusual festival this year because we haven't had anybody from under 16 onwards. They've already played all those finals, but actually I don't think it's been to the detriment of the competition. And we've seen some excellent football all the way through.
We've seen some brilliant football, both the girls and the boys. Very, very memorable games. We'll see some highlights later on. The goals of the tournament so far. There'll be a few more added today, saves of the tournament. We're really excited about that, always one of the highlights, but yeah, we've seen some great football here, and of course the under-15 boys, small schools. I think these two, Newcastle, St Bernard's, are going to put on a show for us. The physical stature at under-15 is just, I think, the thing that stands out for me this week. You know, the under-12s, under-13s, under-14s even to a certain degree. You know, the pitch seems big, and yet suddenly when you get to under-15, there's a real sort of emphasis of the physicality of the game.
Yes.
And just looking at the players down there on the pitch, both these sets of players, I think, are relishing this opportunity to play on this fantastic surface in this great stadium.
Well, what's noticeable straight away is team in blue already. The midfield got a couple of big young strapping lads there. And the team in yellow, St Bernard's, a couple of shorter players in midfield. So it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. You never know. It's not always about physicality. Of course, physicality is always something you notice early on in a match, and which teams maybe. It's we've seen a few times. I was watching highlights of all the first 2 days action last night as the rules panel were going through who was going to make it through for a goal of the tournament.
Well, it was just an early scare there, wasn't there? I just thought the goalkeeper,
just hesitated.
Harry Gallia, just might have got caught by his own player there, but there's hesitation between the three of them there.
Yeah.
And it's always these first moments of a game when you want that assured first touch, you want that good decision made, you want that good first tackle, you know, the pass that gets to your player. It's amazing, you know, how that can influence the game as it goes on, and it's just literally as the sun has started to burst through. It's been a very cloudy morning, chilly here out at Reading. I know the forecast is for it to brighten up very, very significantly. I don't think the cameramen are going to enjoy that, are they, with the and the producer with the change in light conditions, but the surface looks a little bit dewy almost, which will be nice if it isn't quite as dry as it has been at some stages, most of the stages of the last 2 days. Just to zip around in this early morning first game for us.
Yes, they were watering it this morning, and it's getting a little bit of extra water on the ball, and you could see they were just wiping it there before the throw.
Okay, it's not due then. I missed that.
Yes, we were here early, John.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I saw some forks or tongs or whatever they are downstairs, and I thought, oh great, I've got the coffee. Came in nice and early for that, and was expecting croissants and all sorts, and nothing there.
Nothing. That would have been for the chief exec, no doubt.
Yeah, Connor Bardwell just doing well, the right back. Just seeing that one. The danger cleared. Bobby Johnson there, just getting back in. The left back, getting forward nice and early for Newcastle.
Coaching team for Newcastle, Steve Harper and Lee Hogarth, who are working under Kieran Waterson. And as for St Bernard's, it's Mark Rochester, the team manager, and Mike Tomlinson listed as physio. So it looks like Mark Rochester does all the coaching and everything else. So he's on his own out there. Let's play down the long ball down the left-hand side. Martin Bain there.
Yeah, that's really excellent work from Oliver Fletcher. Just held off the challenge, put his arm out. Good strength, good balance. Again, you know, I just saw in the warm-up 1 or 2 lads were slipping.
Yeah.
So just got to be aware of the footwear, the choices they made, but also that they stay on their feet.
That's better.
It's a corner.
First corner of the match, and Harvey Desange wearing the number 13. So the teams try to avoid number 13, as we've mentioned before. Well, this team has got 2 number 13s in.
Oh,
they had a misprint apparently.
It's an offside. Yeah.
Oh yes, offside called. So they had a slight error at the printers, and we had a number 13 outfield shirt and we have a number 13 goalie shirt. I was actually remember we had an offside yesterday that we were debating, and we'll just watch this for a second as Newcastle come forward. A little bit of a physical confrontation there. The referee said he's happy. He's got his whistle to his mouth, didn't actually blow, so he was in 2 minds. I think he decided to play an advantage there. And just to let you know, John, we were looking. Sorry, you were going to make a point there.
No, I was just Jake Scott. You know, he started brightly, but it was really Lucas de Bol having far too much space when that ball came into him in midfield. He had plenty of time to turn and get at this St Bernard's team, and they just want to be aware of that space in midfield. Got to close it down.
Good play here from Samuel. We've definitely seen him before in previous PlayStation Cups. You do remember a name, and of course with a name like Samuel does obviously stay with you if you've seen that before. Yes, I was looking yesterday. We just to tidy up a little thing yesterday. We actually, I think we owe a linesman an apology from yesterday, because remember there was a goal that went over the top, and we were saying he was absolutely offside. Yeah. And well, I managed to get a still frame out of it. He was onside.
Was he?
When the ball was hit, he was just fractionally behind the defender. He did. Yeah, and this is how it can be, I suppose. He actually had a great run. The defender was stone still. He was sprinting forward. So by the time he got the ball, he was a good sort of 5-6 yards ahead. But actually, he was onside. So well done, that linesman, and many apologies. It must be the frustrations of officials that those people who've got the microphones.
Yeah, I think you berated him, didn't you? I don't think I would have been much more respectful of officials.
Well, I do listen to you, John. I decided, the rules committee did decide that Brooklyn Bailey's first goal from day one was not going to go on the shortlist because of your anticlimactic reaction.
No, that was what I was more worried about. What a great moment, and
Even though it was probably one of the best goals there, it's just the Coventry. Well, I don't think that was very good after all.
Can we re-record that in the break, please?
Well, if we're going to do that, we need to re-record the one which did make the list, where I actually gave the wrong goal score because my papers got messed up in the wind.
I noticed that.
And
you corrected me. Don't draw attention to it.
No. Well, I can take it because we put it in the goal list, and warts and all, it's in, with me doing probably the worst bit of, probably my only major mistake for the whole 2 days. It goes into the highlights. There you go. Anyway, back to the action here. And a lot of space in midfield I'm seeing here. Well, a lot of open gaps. But both teams at the moment going for the longer ball, as you can see here. This one's going over the top.
Yeah, again.
Thomas Abanda trying to get on the end of that.
Yeah, and I thought George Riley, the captain, shepherded that one really well. Playing a song, George Riley, Oliver Fletcher, just with the Thomas Abanda playing down the middle for St Bernard's. They're going to have to be right on their game, these two centre halves.
Yeah.
And equally up the other end. So KG starts the game. Family and friends in the stadium here. Not making too much noise, that little group, but down the other side we've got some good early support in this ground and making a little bit of noise.
Yeah, looks like we have the rest of that year, because of course this is the Small Schools Cup, where you have to be 65 or less boys in the year, and it seems to be a pattern that they've let the rest of the year come down to support, which is a lovely touch. So it's mainly female following we see in the crowd, of course. It's half the males are actually on the pitch. So no major chances yet. Here's a shot from distance. And the number 10, Oliver Malarkey, letting go. One of the things I've noticed, John,
good strike.
but seems to be a little bit different, is that the number 10s, we're almost, it's like almost we're changing the style of football. Number 10s are becoming much more important in the game. It's almost like the continental style where number 10s are the playmakers. We're really seeing it more and more in junior football, and I think there's been quite a lot of matches. You've given a number of man-of-the matches to number 10s throughout the last 2 days.
Yeah, I just feel that the way that the game's set up, the way that it's developed, one of the most encouraging things, I talked at the start of the show about the size and physicality of the game, but actually what I've really enjoyed watching, this first couple of days and into today, I'm sure it won't be any different, is I think the coaches and the players appreciating the space and the pockets of space on a pitch. And of course those little areas in front of the back four, crucial, but most importantly the space off the front man or the front two.
The ball just plays that too long.
And I've seen the diamond formation in midfield. I've seen the sort of advanced midfield player and the deep lying midfield player protecting the back, and the two wider players. And that diamond shape has worked really well in both the nine-a-side game and to a sort of different numerical equation, but also in the 11-a-side game. Just offside.
Offside there. Sun comes out for the first time today. It has been very noticeable how the number 10s are becoming more and more important in the team, and that very much was of course still is a very continental thing, but we're definitely seeing it more and more in the game here in the UK.
Probably our most fundamental question at the World Cup, I think, for England is who's going to play in that role. Jack Wilshere not in the squad, and who is going to play that absolutely vital sort of link between the midfield and the front man. Obviously Harry Kane being announced as captain, and is it Dele Alli?
It's an interesting. We talked about Paul Hart not making the team yesterday, and of course Jack Wilshere is an interesting one, because you do need your players who can do something a little bit different, that could maybe come on and take on people. It's like Paul Gascoigne in your day, that just get the ball to him and he could make something out of nothing.
Well, and Paul Scholes, abundance of real talent. In those days he's just given the ball away and he's recovered, and he comes across to sweep and tidy up. That was just a nervous moment for Dominic Bannon. But yes, so you've got those creative players, but Jack Wilshere, I agree with Gareth Southgate that you've got to fundamentally and first of all have a group of players that are fully fit, because I've seen so often the distraction of, you know, Wayne Rooney, a classic example, you know, with injured foot, David Beckham with injured, you know, foot. You know, are they going to be fit? Aren't they going to be fit? You know, what's going to be the influence on the team? And there's so much distraction that actually get the players just fully focused on being a group, coming out and doing well. And if you want any great example of that is, forgotten the school yesterday, but small schools, they play brilliantly as the sum of all the parts.
Samuel, that's a great ball through from Samuel. He gets the return, and I think he'll take the corner here.
Oh, what a challenge from George Riley. Captain comes across. Watch this. Lovely little dummy. Brilliant. I think it's Samuel. Samuel, is it? What a lovely ball through, and fantastic challenge.
Yeah, good foot in there. And that all started with Harvey Desange as well. He's on the books at Brentford, and he managed to get the ball back in midfield. Just 4 in the box. There's not a big presence, and the corner's not very good either. So I thought they were going to play that short there. They had the number 9. Thomas Abanda was next to the corner taker, and they just whipped it in straight into the goalkeeper. So I think they'll have to rethink that tactic.
Yeah, James Harper just giving the foul away. Samuel on it. We'll leave it, I think, for Dominic Bannon, just to knock this one forward again. But you're right, yeah, poor corner into Max Metcalfe's hands, the near post. That's a good ball.
Big punt upfield, straight through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
the thing I notice here as well is, look at the length of these shorts that both teams have got. Like we are back into the fashion of long shorts again, aren't we? Like, looking at Samuel, you can't even see his knees. This is a great ball forward. This is a great opportunity, and just loses his footing right at the very end. Zach Munier.
Well, Jack Munier, I told you, didn't I? I saw a few players just slipping in the warm-up. They have watered the pitch. Very, very different to yesterday. Foul throw just given for that. But Oliver Malarkey, superb ball through.
Yeah.
Is that a flavour of things to come? We talked about the pockets of space maybe in midfield, but certainly you've got the opportunity to stretch the defences when you can get that ball just slid down the channel, or that one perfectly looped over the centre half into that full-back area. And what an opportunity for Newcastle that was.
Yes, they were watering the 4 corners very heavily, so that corner, the groundsman was stood there with his long pipe for quite a while, and you know, obviously they weren't ready for it. He was, you know, it could be that you know, when it's been manually watered, it's not being watered by a machine, so you are going to get maybe some patches that are quite dry that the groundsman hasn't covered, and that certainly was a patch up there with where he had done quite a bit of sprinkling. But an interesting start here, and a very even match. I was just making a comment about the fashion in your days. It was the tight shorts, wasn't it, John? John's having a moment here. We'll just leave him be about, I think it's a comment about the groundsman. It's almost like test match cricket all of a sudden.
That was good sprinkling, yeah.
If you could have, John's got tears in his eyes. He's trying to restrain himself here, but I was doing my double entendres there without realising it.
Lucas de Bolt just trying to force the pace of this game, make things happen in that midfield area.
With Varley.
Just drifting offside, was he? James Harper, it didn't get through to him. Just down the middle for Newcastle, living on right on the shoulder of the 2 centre halves.
Nice play here from Newcastle, just getting a bit of time in midfield, and not major pressing coming on from St Bernard's.
Again, that area, isn't it?
Yeah.
That number 10 area. Oh, good little give and go. Yeah, that's better. I like that. And applauded by Oliver Malarkey.
The coach is down on the touchline applauding as well, because that's an interesting move. Without really breaking sweat, they suddenly got a half opportunity in the penalty box.
Well, it was just, you know, from the wide area, just a little chip into the, I think it was Malarkey. Could have been William Hodgson.
6 in the box. There's a big presence in the box, and that corner is... Keeper surely had to come for that. It was literally a yard out and hits the crossbar.
Well, you've said it. Goalkeeper's area. He's got to come and at least punch that. The defenders around him will be asking questions as to why he hasn't. He's got to be dominant.
Yeah. We'll see this again.
Yeah.
From almost no distance out.
Well, it's right on the goal line, isn't it? And he's got to come and clear that.
Yeah.
It's the centre half, isn't it? Oliver Fletcher. Right underneath him.
That was almost like David De Gea's first season when he didn't really fancy coming out for any sort of cross, and you had teams putting in long throws and everything into the 6-yard box. He's obviously done a bit of training on that since.
Yeah, just a little.
And but you know, if you're in the team, John, and you see that sort of thing, you know balls are going to be coming into that 6-yard box then.
Well, that's exactly right. The first thing I'd be saying as the coach is really get the ball into that box, get them turned. Goalkeeper may be a little bit nervous, maybe not the best at dealing with those decisions, I suppose, on free kicks and corners. And some lovely ball down the channel.
It's good play from Newcastle.
Yeah, again.
Here's Munir.
He's done well, Bardwell. Again in this space. Mulaki in midfield.
Out to Varley. Varley's finding a lot of space here. No pressure at all on the ball. All the time in the world, and there's so much space and time for the Newcastle midfield. Not being pressured whatsoever.
That's what I like to see, a goalkeeper right on the edge of their box, ready to sweep up behind the back four, allows them to push up, make this game compact, and especially for young lads on a huge pitch. Lovely work.
Great play from Scott. That's a good cross in as well. Here's the chance. Here's Munir. Oh, an air shot as well. Maybe he's a little bit nervous about the ground. I don't know. Back to Scott. Scott plays inside. That's a good ball from Scott.
Yeah, that was a good touch, wasn't it?
And the ball hits the first defender.
Oh, well back. That's great tracking back from De Bol. And a foul there. Just going to have a word with the referee, but brilliant tracking back. You know, after he had the effort that was blocked, to get back and track back, absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
Here he is. Scott chips up. Just the little flick, the little slip, the miss hit here. Just hits his standing foot. Does well, and when it gets cut back, nice little set off here. Lovely touch. Shot.
Harvey Desange has got a yellow card for that challenge, which it was a pretty uncontrolled challenge straight from behind. There was no way he was going to win the ball.
Oh, look at the space again.
De Bol. Yeah. They're playing a 4-3-3, but the 3 doesn't seem to be a sort of what you would call a real sort of out-and-out defensive midfielder. There's a shot from distance, and the goalkeeper decides he has to pop that one over the bar, and that was a long-range shot from Oliver Mulaki, the number 10.
Well, he had to see this one very carefully. Malaki's done really well. You're right. Just got to watch it, see it.
Yeah.
You know, comfortable in the end. You'd expect him to tap that one away, but
so here's a corner. So where's this ball going to go? Mulaki with the kick, and just outside the box this time. But there's a free header, and the goalkeeper decides to palm over the bar. And
yeah, I'm sure that's Oliver Fletcher again, coming up from the back, the centre half.
Well, he's a tall lad, this keeper. I think he's just having a few nerves out there. Like, I think most days of the week he would have just caught that one straight and simple, but he was under a bit of pressure.
Well, his own player's just standing in front of him, isn't he? Just makes it a little bit awkward, and
yeah,
0-0. He knows his first goal is so important, and again, it's a free header from that man again, Oliver Fletcher. I think that's the third header that he's had. That one where we felt the keeper should have really punched it away.
Yeah.
And then those two from that corner, those two corners, sorry.
Newcastle School for Boys now starting to really press on here. We have a substitution below us. Number 15 is coming on, which is Phil D'Agostino, and it's Zach Munir, who I wonder if, when he slipped, I wonder if he went down awkwardly. He does seem to have half hobble there as he's running off.
Oh yeah, he's definitely struggling.
Yeah. I just wonder whether that slip from earlier, yeah, he gets a pat on the back of the head as he wanders off there, and just wonder whether that slip a little bit earlier, which maybe gave him a knock, and he's not been able to run it off. That would be a great shame. 20 minutes gone here.
Yeah, St Bernard's Catholic School. Oh, here's an opportunity. Just tries to put it around the centre half. Yeah, again, he does well at attacking-wise in the corners, and then defensively, just alert to that one. Malarkey on midfield again, not being able to slide that one in.
Akpata.
A
little bit of space here on the right-hand side for St Bernard's. Desang. Loses out, but given away by De Bol. Desange out to, this is Kithingi. And Bobby Johnson now brings the ball away.
Well, what I like about this Newcastle team is, you just mentioned there Bobby Johnson, he comes back in to make the 5 in midfield, as does Jake Scott here on the ball down below us. He'll track back and make that 5 in midfield, make it very difficult for St Bernard's to be able to get any joy in that midfield area. Allows the back four the comfort of knowing that the numbers, the numerical supremacy is there in front of them. Keeper's coming off his line. They get forward and support the main man up front, James Harper, really, really well. So there's a nice cohesiveness about this Newcastle team. And at the moment, St Bernard's just struggling to sort of work it out. I think they've got to really get in those little wide pockets between the fullback and the centre half from their perspective, and try and look at those little spaces and channels.
I mean,
what is fascinating is some of the distance travelled by Newcastle, I think, in the route here, and when you look at the distance of the St Bernard's, the distance travelled, it's quite a significant difference, let's say, over the various number of rounds that they had getting to play here at the Madejski Stadium.
Yes, when you play in a more remote part of the country, I suppose, for want of a better word, there's a bit of travel. And Newcastle do seem to have had a few home games. I think the figure we've been given is actually incorrect here. We've only had one away game. Oh. So they've been a little bit fortunate. I looked at it before the
game and I was thinking, crumbs, they put down that there's a 900 or 1,000 miles of travelling for Newcastle and about a tenth of that for St Bernard's. So it's a mistake, is it?
Yeah, I think that's an error on the stats pack, which is the first one of the day. Steve Harper there, former Newcastle goalkeeper. Not long since he was in the sticks at St. I want to call it St George's Park. I'll call it St George's Park. Still the Sports Direct Arena, I presume. Nice play there from Desange.
Yeah, they're just got to start to sort of enjoy their football a little bit and start to pass it about. See, that's just a ball sort of given away by a diagonal ball that I think they'd be better off just sort of having a little spell of trying to keep the ball, little passes. Yeah. You sort of get the sense and feeling that they're a little bit individual at the moment, St Bernard's, and they're all trying to think, I've got to do something special myself, instead of getting the ball down, passing it, the movement.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're ready to go, but they just haven't got the confidence to sort of have those little passes in between them.
Just having a look at the results of the team. So Newcastle, obviously, quite a distance up north. They play regionally to start with, so up against schools that are in their area for the first few rounds. So they had a home victory 2-1 in the first round against North Gosforth Academy. In round 2, it was a 2-0 win against Tanfield School Specialist College. In round 3, a 6-0 win against Appleby Grammar School. In round 4, an 8-3 victory against Boroughbridge High School. And then in round 5, this is when it opens up to the country. They had to travel, so it was the first away match. 288 miles they went to Winterton Community Academy. And then in round 6, a semi-final, a home victory, 5-3 against Oldham Hume Grammar School. So only actually the 288 miles they've travelled, although obviously they've had to come a fair way for this final. And the interesting thing is Rory Nicholson, number 13, is actually on the bench here. He's the leading goal scorer with 8 goals. and they started him on the bench, so they have goals on the bench if they do get into a bit of trouble.
It's that strength in depth, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the bench. We talk about it at the highest level, and it's not bad, is it, to have that to bring on?
Harper with 7 goals is the number 9 for Newcastle, who's got 7 goals, and then all the others are scoring just 2s and 1s. So it really is Nicholson and Harper the sort of, you could say, the main dangers goals-wise. And number 10, who's been threatening, Malarkey, just has 1 goal to his name in this competition in the 6 rounds, which is surprising because he's actually had a few shots from distance already.
That's good work. That's a nice ball. Scott always an outlet on this right-hand side. He's really got the balance right of defensive work and getting forward.
Yeah, Jake Scott putting in a bit of a shift here. And
into the bowl, out wide. Just looks to get that near post.
And the corner given.
Got a little nick. Goes for a corner, you're right.
Well, the last time we saw a corner here, they hit the crossbar. Malarkey swung one in with the right foot deep into the 6-yard box, and I think this is the moment where maybe if you're the coach or you're one of the defenders, you want your goalie to come out, because here it goes again. The goalie has come out, he's missed it. And the referee has given a foul, and he saw a little nudge on the keeper as he came out there, I think.
Well, they certainly are putting the pressure on the keeper, swinging the ball right into that goal area, right on him.
Yeah,
it was just a little shove.
Decision.
Yeah, I think it was Will Varley, maybe the number 2, just leant into him.
It's always an interesting tactic, isn't it, with these corners, and you know, you must have seen it at professional level, John, where a team will just put 2 people on the goalie and try and stop him moving, and say, okay, let's swing it into the. Oh, let's just watch this for a second. As Desange just plays a bit of an exhibition pass there. Didn't really need to do the loft. There was nobody in the way, but decided to anyway.
Why not?
Yeah, I can do it. And John, you know, at professional level, even, you know, obviously it's something you see a lot at pub standard and lower leagues and whatever. But it has been a common tactic at the top level. If they felt that they could stop the goalkeeper coming out and then use some of their taller players on the edge of the 6-yard box to go for the ball.
Well, the higher the level you go, the more diligent work has been done on identifying weaknesses in any team, in our opposition, that you're looking for a chink to get us an advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. If the goalkeeper's one of those that's slightly nervous of catching the balls from crosses, corners, whatever, that's lovely work. Just a little toe out, another corner.
So you would have done that at Liverpool then, John. You would have actually said, look, this opposition goalkeeper, he's a little bit dodgy. Let's just put a man on him, make sure that he feels more nervous under pressure, and then get the ball
100%,
further in. Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Interesting.
We probably did it more with Wimbledon, because I think at Wimbledon, well, we were always, I think, in many ways, light years ahead.
This is a dangerous cross, and that'll be another corner.
When I said light years ahead, I think Wimbledon were always a team that needed to look for every single little advantage they could, and sometimes they pushed the boundaries, but often they would have the videos, they would have the scouts out there watching teams, and so really did focus in on those little corners. And there's the keeper, punches this one.
Punches and clears.
Yeah, that's a good decision, you see, because at that height,
that will give him confidence. Yeah.
Well, it will. If somebody comes in and he's going to get challenged, it's going to be a free kick. You're punching at that height, you're always going to be there first. And I think that's his sort of good decision making now, that he's worked out that he's going to have to really come out and dominate that 6-yard box, certainly, if not the whole box.
Who was your manager at Wimbledon? Was it Bobby Gould?
Bobby Gould, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, he brought me from Bristol Rovers, and then we had Joe Kinnear. Couple in between.
Yeah.
And some great coaches, Ray Harford was a great coach, went on to work with Kenny Dalglish at Blackburn.
Yeah.
When they won the title. Great coach. Terry Burton, fantastic. It was a good challenge. Got in well, just caught his hand, but well out there. Stepped out, didn't he, Frank Cotter?
Yeah.
Very well. And again, they just can't get past this Newcastle defence, can they? Full credit to Oliver Fletcher and George Riley. Really sort of done a great job against Thomas Abanda. Maybe they're not committing enough players into that final third, and there you go. A long-range shot from Harvey Desange. And that's really been pretty much the story of this opening half an hour for St Bernard's.
You feel that the forwards are a little bit isolated for St Bernard's, as you say, and they're not getting the, even if they do get the ball, they don't have a pass on very quickly, and the defenders realise that.
Well, I think as well, you know, it's why these early exchanges of games are so important, because what happens is, you know, take Thomas Abanda, for example, you know, he doesn't feel like he's in the game, he's not getting the ball, they're not attacking as a group because Newcastle are dominating possession, and therefore the lads are enjoying their game because they've got more touch of the ball. So all of a sudden, St Bernard's, when they get the ball, they always want to do something with it because they want to be out here showing what they can do. And then there's a little bit of frustration, or they come towards the ball and try and come and look for it, rather than, you know, standing on the shoulder of a player. And these are the things that these teams, these boys, they've got to learn, they've got to work it out. The coach has got to get the signal down here, and here he is again. He's had a lot of time on the ball, Oliver Malarkey, but that time loses out. Good work from Charlie Amasanti. But yeah, that's why the first 15 minutes of a game, 20 minutes of a game, people don't give it the sort of credit. That's why I always love watching the beginning of a game. You know, if a team's losing 2-0, 3-0 at half time, I don't see the game in the second half the same way of a lot of people. It's excitement, everything else. But the game's effectively, more often than not, being won in that first half. And that's the team that's set the tone. They're going to then sit back. You're going to see the opposition coming back into it and say, well, they had a great second half. Well, of course they did, because they're chasing the game. It's a completely different game because they've got to throw caution to win. So you're not seeing the real display because they've failed in the first half. And here, this is why.
Here's a good example now. James Harper,
that's better.
Totally on his own. He's a bander, and he is going to go solo.
Go on.
And he's opened the legs up and wins the corner. Well, that was exactly what he needed to do, because he had no support. There was nobody within 30 yards of the number 9, Thomas Abanda. And that was wonderful play. We watch this again.
And this is absolutely fair enough. You know, if you're going to sort of sit back and you are going to be pegged back, you know, you are going to play deep, and you've got this pace, go on then, use it. And he did ever so well. Great defending from Oliver Fletcher, though. He's had an excellent first half an hour.
Interesting to see Samuel absolutely bust a gut to get up there, and he was in support. He'd made a major move. He's not normally the forward midfielder. In fact, he's just stood in front of the defence at the moment. He's popped back a bit, but he was up there supporting. And another corner now from the opposite side. So
yeah, well, there he is again. I mean, I think the ball's almost drawn to Oliver Fletcher in that box at both ends. On the end of everything.
He's getting his money's worth on this pitch. St Bernard's just taking their time. They're going to go with a second man down there again. So,
well, nobody's coming out, are they, from Newcastle's point of view? They're almost sort of wanting it to go short. And
they're just saying, look, if you want to put it short, do that.
Well, they made a bit of a mess of the last corner, St Bernard's. I thought the ball was played short, and then the return ball made it a really awkward angle. And well, there you go. They should have played it short. that's another dreadful corner from this side. Yeah,
2 in a row, straight in at the front post. The keeper will collect those all day. That was just kept in. Well done from Oliver Malarkey.
Yeah, not the best first touch, but then he recovered the situation, got the throw in, and again the temperature will just start to rise out there. The sun's out now, and just after 10 o'clock, it was a chilly start. Seems lovely conditions out there now. Perfect.
5 minutes to go in this first half. We will be having the goals of the tournament played at half time. Goals of the tournament so far. Of course, we will add to them as today goes, and the rules committee is all ready to judge. Basically, me and John giving a thumbs up and down to each other, but we will add to them if need be. We've already got quite a lot of goals. Surprising high number this year. Oh, that's a lovely play from Desange. Lovely little touch through nutmeg. Now tries to play in Abanda, and well, Abanda there. He's fast, but not that fast.
Well, this is where they need somebody just in that pocket of space, isn't it? Look at the space off the front man, and they haven't really got that. They're playing sort of I suppose, a flat 3 or 4 in midfield. 3 in midfield, the 2 wide players come back in, they try and make 5, but they haven't really got anybody who's in that advanced midfield role that
Yeah.
can pick up the ball.
Malarkey puts a cross in. The keeper comes to this, gets a hand on it, blocks the second attempt, and that's more like it from Harry Gallier. He's definitely getting involved. That was he came outside the box here, so he's building in confidence now as the match progresses, and he needs to. He needs to come out for those balls. So well done, Harry.
6 players back for Newcastle. Just shows the confidence they've got.
Yeah.
Sort of transition between possession and not possession, and there you just see James Harper lifting that over the defender and looking to the referee, asking why it wasn't a foul.
It's a foul for that. Here's Scott, who's been pretty busy on this right-hand side. I like this play. Oh, it's a lovely little dinking over the top, and a goal for Newcastle. The first goal of the match, and it's number 3, Bobby Johnson, the left back, coming in at the far post, being the extra man. Newcastle lead 1-0.
Fantastic for Newcastle. It's been coming, hasn't it? I think you've got to say that. Really, the run of the play, the dominance of this team. Lovely ball played in there. That's what it's all about. Dug out in many ways, that cross into the box. It's floaty. They didn't deal with it. Bobby Johnson comes in and gets on the end of it, probably with his weaker foot, but the goalkeeper can do nothing about it. Excellent breakthrough on, well, just before half-time. What a crucial time that is for Newcastle. They'll feel that they deserve that they wanted that breakthrough before half-time. And now they've posed the question to St Bernard's. You've had not a lot of joy up front.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to change things around?
Well, I think this is a deserved lead for Newcastle. They have dominated. And I think the thing I was about to say was I really like Jake Scott here on the right wing. I don't think he's given the ball away all match. You see this here. You know, he's realised he's going nowhere. Some players would have just tried a little knock forward and run to it.
Yeah.
He turns inside, plays a super ball, and, well, it ends up in the back of the net.
Well, I'm not surprised that Oliver Malarkey has got the assist there, but you're absolutely right. Fantastic work.
That's a great example,
by Jake
wasn't
Scott.
it? Jake Scott, you know, he could see
he's had
nothing
so much
was on.
space, hasn't he, all the time. You know, they've had sort of, you know, been able to double up on him. It's a foul.
Yes.
But they've sort of doubled up on him, but he's also just always had the composure to sort of give the ball back inside, cut back, take them players on, make good decisions whenever he's been on the ball.
Referee just decides to have a little word with Scott. So there was an example where he did decide to have a little risk and a little knock forward, and he's a big lad, Scott. So when he barges into you, you know about it. Let's see what St Bernard's can do as we come towards the end of this first half. 1 minute to go, plus whatever added. Don't think we've had a single injury actually, so we might just go for a straight whistle here. And the long throw, Bobby Miggy comes to take the throw in. Samuel is free behind. Might get the ball here. No, they've decided to swing it in, but it's wasted again. The quality of the balls from this left side have been poor. There's going to be a shot from very long distance here. Going right for the top corner, but it's wide. One of those that looks as if it was going in the top corner from here.
Well, it might have done it, mightn't it? Just at the last minute, the keeper, you saw him. He moved and he just watched the flight, and then he suddenly thought, yeah, that's not too far away.
Let's have a look at this.
Dominic Bannon.
From our commentary box, it's got fairly wide in the end. Well, entertaining first half. I think we needed a goal, so that's, I think, good for the match. It's going to mean that St Bernard's have to put a little bit more pressure on, and that might open things up even more. There's certainly a lot of space, and as we said, no injury time at all. As 40 minutes comes up on the clock, the referee blows for half-time. And well, there's a high five with Jake Scott and Oliver Malarkey. They'll go in a little bit buoyed of having got that goal under the belt. We haven't had a goalless first half yet, have we, in our festival? And
I think really good work from Hodgson, De Bol and Malarkey, the three in midfield for Newcastle. I think from St Bernard's point of view, they've just got to get to grip with the numbers of those three defensively to cope with that, and then in that attacking third, they've got to have that space off the front man.
So the half-time score here, Newcastle School for Boys 1, St Bernard's Catholic Grammar School 0 in the under-13 Small Schools Cup Final. Actually, I think the title might be wrong. I think this is the isn't this the under-15?
Yeah, it's under 15
This
boys,
is the under-15.
small schools.
The under-15 Small Schools Cup Final. Error on the graphics. Anyway, we have... this is the moment where I go and get a coffee, and John Scales is now going to be having a little watch through what we have, the judging panel has ruled as potential goals of a tournament. So you get to watch this for the first time. This has not been released anywhere. This is a world exclusive. And John's got his pen and paper at the ready. He's going to be giving them all marks out of 10 in his head. We will add any goals we've seen today that also meet the criteria. So we'll, and then towards the end, John will give you his thoughts. But for now, here we go. These are the goals of the tournament so far.
1v1 with the likes of Abimbola.
Oh, what a goal that is from distance. and it's Lewis Brown. What a shot this is, and that's caught everybody by surprise, including the commentators. We were all expecting the cross back in, but Brown puts it straight into the top corner, and what a goal for St John's this is, John.
Well, it's emphatic, isn't it? Header out, look at them, they close down. What a shot that is. Oh, keeper can do nothing about it. Lewis Brown.
Needed to rebuild, and now this is good skills here from Oyasandi, and what a goal that is!
Brilliant.
Osayandi, Emmanuel Osayandi, a solo run, receives the ball from Aweru and plants it into the back of the goal. Ryan Robinson lead by 3-1.
Yeah, you're right. Aweru, I think, does really well. Suddenly realises going down that right-hand side, he's not going to get a shot in on goal. Real maturity to bring the ball back out again. Here he is, Osayandi, picks the ball up. Now what can he do? Goes through two, past the third, and then there, cuts inside, gives himself all the space and time, and drives the ball up into the roof of the net. Brilliant, 3-1. Well, they'll be feeling like that could be game, set and match.
Wonderful skills. Bailey's going to have a go from distance. Oh my goodness! Brooklyn Bailey take a bow. What a goal from long distance, and Ryan Robinson go 4-1 ahead.
Well, that's emphatic. What a strike from Bailey. Here it is. Ball given away cheaply up there, but nobody expected this, did they? Little setback. Bang! Oh, what a goal, what a strike. Keeper's got absolutely no chance. He's pulled off one of the saves of the tournament so far, and this time Bailey drills it into the far post. Gives the keeper no chance. Just a sort of system that's not helping Northampton at the moment. Oh, it's
It's gone in.
Well, I think that's Conrad Norman. And it's just come off his back. Just the reaction, wasn't it? The ball got cut across. Didn't know too much about it, but I think if we see the replay, maybe we should give him a little bit more credit, and he's due. Was
this deliberate? This is the incredible thing. Did he deliberately do this? If so, this is an absolutely amazing goal, because it's coming across to him at pace.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think it's at his chest height. I think the only thing he can do is sort of push his chest to the ball.
Yes.
He felt that he might have been offside, or what happened.
We've got an unusual. Oh, we'll just watch this again.
Oh,
what skills!
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. John Scales is applauding next to me, and rightly so. What a goal that is for Whitgift, and it's Brooke Myers who shows skills left and right foot. Even the goalie's come up to give him a hug. He deserves it. What a goal, and Whitgift lead 3-0.
Well, Brooke Myers take a bow. There we go. Let's watch and enjoy. Look at that great feat. Composure, skill, both feet, balance. I mean, that showed everything. I feel if they get a goal now, they suddenly get the impetus. Oh, what a goal! Right, as I said, is that the catalyst for Northampton? Logan Briggs with a fantastic shot into the roof of the net. Alfie Lamb can do nothing about it. Just as we were talking about the body language of this Northampton group of players, up he steps. He's got the ability, we know about it. They win back possession. He gets away. First time he's really been able to get the ball out of his feet. Bang! To the roof of the net. 3-1.
Real Madrid victory though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What are you talking about? Oh my goodness.
I thought I'd wake you up.
Yeah, that's got me. Hey, here's a chance.
Here's Ossibor. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, what a shot from Ossibor! Now we can see the celebration. This boy can dance.
Fantastic. Oh, he's not going to be let go of there now.
Oh,
Yes,
they're
he is.
loving it. He got his goal. We've had our dance, and this time it is good. Oh, John, take us through this.
A little slip from the centre half that take nothing away from the finish. Brilliant left foot across the keeper. Bar corner. Great celebration. I love watching them. The huge, enormous difference from under 12 to under 13 to under 14. It's remarkable. What a run that is!
Oh, what a run! Oh, what a shot! And what a goal! From a long, long distance, it's Keane Rodriguez has pulled the trigger, and Cardinal Newman go ahead. Oh,
it is indeed. Keane Rodriguez. Absolutely stunning. Lovely drag back away from the challenge. He's away from three players, gets it out of his feet. You think he can't hit it from there, surely. The keeper makes a desperate lunge to push it away around the post.
Huddersfield and Brighton.
Yeah, it's the first time it's happened, isn't it, in the Premier League? All three promoted sides.
Oh, of course. Oh, here's an opportunity
Oh, what
from
a strike.
distance. Oh, and what a goal! Hits it first time. And Cardinal Hume are back in the match. It's Louis Salkeld, the captain, number 10. He wins the tackle and then hits it, and this is not an easy shot.
No, here it is, the tackle. He wins it. He's the one setting the tone. Look at that for a goal. Absolutely brilliant. We know what Dennis Whittington's like in goal. He's no slouch.
Traffic. Here's Pateras.
Yeah, with a lovely touch, wasn't it?
Here's Wallace. Wallace has got round his man, and Wallace is going to have a go here. Oh, what a goal from Wallace! What a shot! His first shot of the match, and it's straight in the corner. 4 minutes gone. Moorland School take the lead, 1-0. Yes, this is Holgate. Apologies. Number 10 got the team the wrong way around there. Holgate through. And what a finish this is. Jacob Holgate, bang, into the corner. What a finish.
That is sensational, wasn't it? I mean, it's
Out to, here's Montgomery. Liking both fullbacks actually for Moorland. Montgomery's going to take it in. He's pulled a few players. Martinet may pull the trigger. Out to Abu. Abu, one touch. Abu into the goal. 2-0, Moorland. Superb football. What a team goal that was. And if we can, I don't know if we can rewind the replay back, because that was a great move all the way from the back. And how many passes was that? That was almost like an Arsenal goal, wasn't it?
yeah, it was superb. Gets the ball here. Montgomery passing it in. I think it was into Martinek. Fed out to Abu. Goes past the defender. Bang! Across the keeper again. Far post. Well, there's the list. Some fantastic goals in there. I mean, what great memories. I mean, amazing looking back on these first 2 days. The teams are back out for the second half. It is going to be fascinating to see if St Bernard's can get back in the game. But looking at those, I mean, I've got 4 to me that stand out. All 11 were great memories. special moments individually for all those players. But sorry about that feedback on the microphone.
That's okay, that was only in our ears, it wasn't on the programme, our own feedback.
But, superb. Just looking at the skill and the level of play over those 2 days, you think, 10 games and you've got 11 goals of that quality. No wonder the supporters and everybody associated with this PlayStation Schools Football Festival loves this occasion. I love coming down here. I think it's the 3rd time I've been down to the Medeski Stadium. And just fantastic facilities, amazing venue obviously, but they're so hospitable. We're very lucky to have had them host this event now for some time.
Yeah.
And the teams are just there. Looks like it's James Harper ready to get us underway.
I do apologise that Mr. Ulcibor, who got in, maybe it wasn't the best quality goal, but the dance was superb. And the atmosphere in itself was there. So I think it was just worth reliving that moment anyway.
Without doubt. I mean, one of my moments of the tournament so far. Maybe the goal. Well, he did well. Got left foot, never easy. It wasn't his strongest side, I don't think. No. And he took it on and he was prepared to give it a shot. They were, trailing the game and pretty much the game was gone. So, and remember, I was amazed. He was still on the pitch at that point.
Yeah.
Sloppy given away.
Struggling here. Here's an opportunity early on for Amasanti, who the delivery of the ball into the box has been poor for St Bernard's in this match. And there was yet another example where on the edge of the box there was interest inside and it's just played straight through to the goalkeeper. Foul given. We covered the Northampton and Newcastle School for Boys results in the first half. Just have a quick look at St Bernard's while we get the opportunity. In round 1 they had a 7-1 win against Chiltern Edge School. In round 2 that was an away victory. In round 2 it was a 4-3 extra time victory over Field Green School. That's back in round 2, back in September, October time. Here's a good play here. We'll just stop and watch this for a second. Oh, there's a ball into the box and that will be a goal. Newcastle have scored.
Well, it may well be an own goal, was it, by Obamingi? May well be. They're very difficult to sort of deal with it, but I do fear that Ossi Obamingi may have put that into the back of his net, but great work, take nothing away. Superb hold-up play by James Harper on the edge of the box. I think it's Lucas de Bol, gets the ball in and then just tries to sort of clear it with his right foot. Obviously his weaker foot, the left back. And it's one of those that can go anywhere. It's gone in the net. It's an own goal.
Yeah, Ossi Obamingi is one of those horrible moments. And it wasn't really a lot of pressure on him, but he obviously wanted to clear as quickly as possible. You're facing your own goal a few yards out, not knowing really what's going on around you, and a pretty uncontrolled swing of the foot there, and that's 2-0 to Newcastle.
Well, it's going to look a lot better for Newcastle. That's just the start to the second half they wanted. The last thing that St Bernard's needed. And it's going to be a long way back up for St Bernard's now. Good work from James Harper, and then really good work there from de Bol. Absolutely fantastic. The way that he just had the composure, settled, went past the defenders. And look again how Newcastle get back in numbers to snuff out the danger.
Yes, we've seen it time and time again, the sort of teams against the individuals, and the team ethic here for Newcastle, the way they run and help each other off the ball. There always seems to be one man to beat, but there's always a man covering behind as well, so that if somebody does do a push and go, there's always somebody behind just waiting for it.
Well, they're just too deep. It's as simple as that, St Bernard's. They've got to push players forward. They've only got the one player to mark at the back, James Harper. They can have two of them there. They can push the two fullbacks right on in. There he's started to go in there, Connor Bardwell. But again, It's number 8 there on the edge there. Samuel, the captain. He's going to pick the ball up here. Be right on the edge of the box. This is where they've got to make things happen.
They do have players up. They've got 4 in a row in the forward line here. And again, the delivery of the ball just failing. And now a ball over the top. This will be a chase. Langton says it's good. James Harper chasing that ball down. Samuels.
They're just there to pick up the pieces. Always somebody challenging. Always somebody first onto the ball. And there you go again. They get possession back, as they have done so often. And then the space. The ball across. He's just offside.
That's a great try.
Yeah, Bobby Johnson, the scorer of that first goal.
A substitution below us. It looks like we've got a switch in the goalkeepers. So looks like for St Bernard's, Harry Gupta, the goalkeeper's coming on, number 13. And off goes Harry Gallia.
I mean, going back there to Bobby Johnson, the goal scorer. He's got 3 on his back. He is playing wide left. They've got Jake Scott, number 12, over on the far side. And both of them have done well in those wide areas. I'm really, really impressed because they've, as I've said it in the first half, James Harper's been able to play down the front on his own, but he hasn't been isolated because those two specifically, Bobby Johnson and Jake Scott, fantastic, have got forward and supported him. And the midfield 3 behind him, the back 4 have pushed up.
Here's the overlap now. Here's an opportunity. De Ball. And saved by Gupta. First touch of the ball. The ball again at the back post, wanting that one.
Yeah, great work from William Hodgson in midfield, number 7.
Mistake there from the back from Dominic Bannon, and on the ball picks up the pieces. And Gupta sharp down to his left. Good save.
Yeah, really good save.
I don't think we're going to add that to our save of the tournament, but it was a very accomplished save for sure. The ball bouncing around midfield, and there's not a lot of options sometimes for these players. They're running off the ball, just seems to be failing, but that's a good tackle there from Desange. Almost plays a perfect ball forwards. It'd be very interesting in terms of the game if St Bernard's were the next team to score here.
I just still got the feeling that they're ready to burst into life. This St Bernard's school. I've still got faith in them that they've got something about them.
Great skills there on the left-hand side. That's beautiful play.
They really have, and you know, Desange there, the number 13. I feel like he's got to go and influence the game in a slightly more advanced position. Samuel there on the ball is just holding in the midfield area.
It's been used for a few things, those clappers, not as a sun visor, but they'll do the job. That was Akpata there just before with the wonderful skill set up on the top corner, and Akpata looking to come inside to release the shot. Here's a chance for Akpata, but he's leaned back as he hit the shot. And well, St Bernard's just managing to actually pass a few balls around to feet. Here's Akpata.
It just needs one of these opportunities, that final third to go in. That needs to be hit across the goal, hard and low. Just leaning back.
Just going back to the St Bernard's results. So they had a 7-1 away victory in round 1, a 4-3 home victory after extra time in 2. Round 3 was a bye. In round 4, a home victory, 5-2 against the Causeway School. In round 5, it was a St Bernard's 9-3 victory against Aylesford School and Sixth Form College, with Abanda scoring 4 goals in that match. And then the semi-final, a 5-1 win against Leaf Studio School. So they have scored a lot of goals, and this could be an opportunity. Ball's loose. Newcastle do everything to clear. Shot from the edge of the box and a deflection. And the referee, well, saying that's a goal kick. I think there was a offside actually. So
yeah, it's Desange with that follow-up.
Yes, offside.
Great defensive work. But lovely play from Charlie Hamasanti to pull it back in the first place, and they've got a couple of chances in the last few minutes. Encouraging signs from St Bernard's. Newcastle just maybe taking their foot off the gas a bit, but St Bernard's certainly trying to push forward, push into those areas. You can see that Thomas Abanda is up there, but he's now got players in closer proximity to him. It's much better.
Just need to correct something we said in the first half about Nicholson being the leading goal scorer. Rory Nicholson is actually the reserve goalkeeper. We'll just watch this for a second. That's a good ball over. So just to correct an earlier error, there's two Nicholsons. Rory Nicholson is the reserve goalkeeper. Alex Nicholson is actually not in the squad, and he's the leading goal scorer. Here's a chance. Hits on the half volley. Newcastle just under a little bit of pressure last few minutes. It's been a good step up here from St Bernard's. But yeah, so their leading goal scorer, Alex Nicholson, is not in the squad here. I haven't had the chance to find out if he's injured or what the reason why he's not in the team here. But the lad who scored most goals, 8 goals in out of 25, not actually here. So Newcastle missing one of their main forwards.
Yeah, it's a big miss for them at the final, isn't it?
Well, they're doing pretty well anyway. Here comes Malarkey coming in on inside. Lovely little interplay with Harper. And Malarkey again. He's not afraid to shoot, is he? Another attempt from outside the box.
Yeah, but again, nice link-up play.
St Bernard's were runners-up in this competition last year. So they have some pedigree. First time. This is the first time that Newcastle School for Boys have got past the last 16. And they're doing pretty well here, 2-0 up. And looking at a very accomplished team. Winning a national title is just an incredible feat. At English schools level, it really is a very, very tough level. Just the sheer number of teams that have entered these competitions is incredible. It's the envy of many countries abroad, actually, the setup here with the schools and how it all works. Of course, it's not part of the FA. It does get support from the FA, of course. You also get some good support from the Premier League. Here's a lovely little lofted ball in from De Ball. But Samuel will pick it up and makes a complete hash of it under no pressure whatsoever. But fortunately, picked up by Kifingi. Goes out left.
You're right, it is the envy of schools football around the world. The English Schools FA, the work that they do, absolutely brilliant. Talk about the funding they get from different sources, Premier League, the FA and others. But PlayStation have really made this category from under 12 to under 15 boys and girls come alive in such a way to amplify and animate these festivals, put on a fantastic show, put the funding into grassroots football, and it's that love of the game that they share with all of us. Brilliant for these youngsters to be able to play in these sort of competitions. So it's a fantastic partnership.
Here's Johnson. Surprised that handball wasn't given earlier. Hand was well up in the air. Here's the ball. Puts a good quality cross in. Scott on the back post will unleash one. Oh, he's found Harper in front of goal. And the keeper, Gupta, who's been very, very busy, pulls off the save and actually wins the goal kick as it comes back off Harper.
That could have gone anywhere. The ricochet. Pull back the far post. This is a miss hit. Comes across the goal, and there he is. Touch just away from him, and then the frustration that he lies back on the floor and realises that was a golden opportunity to get it 3-0, and well, I think then totally beyond St Bernard's. Had that gone in, they live to fight another day.
Amasanti looks to play in. Abanda, who's got some pace. Abanda has got pace, and Abanda has scored. Game on! St Bernard score. It's the ball over the top. And Thomas Abanda has pace aplenty. St Bernard's are right back in this match. It's 2-1.
Well, they are. And that's the pace of Abanda. Takes him away. Absolutely brilliant. Away from Oliver Fletcher. The keeper's got no chance. He's got to come out, try and throw himself at the feet of Thomas Abanda. It's a brilliant finish, and isn't it amazing? We were just talking 1 second ago when Newcastle are going to go 3 up with that chance.
Yeah.
James Harper, unlucky with that touch, just couldn't finish it off from the miss hit across the goal, and then seconds later, the ball over the top. Thomas Abanda through, clear and away. Has the composure, the speed, the pace to slot it away, and game on. 54 minutes gone. Well, I just felt that this St Bernard's team were ready to burst into life. And there it is, out in this glorious sunshine. Thomas Abanda away, outside of his right foot. Really slick finish. Delight the supporters down below us.
Well, it was a bit of a mismatch there, wasn't it? Because the number 6, Oliver Fletcher, has been very accomplished, very strong in the air. He's not the fastest, and it's up to now been George Riley, the number 5, who's got some pace himself at the back. But Abanda found himself up against Fletcher, and St Bernard's have definitely got their tails up at the moment now. And it was interesting as well, you know, that's probably the first time we've really seen the ball just played directly over the top. Up to now, they've tried to go to Abanda's feet, and he's had no support. There's a shot from Samuel. Hits the bar, hits the post. Oh, what a chance! What a shot from Samuel from distance. St Bernard still with the ball, and Newcastle just happy to just get a little bit of a breather here. Here's a replay of this.
Oh, it's a throw in. Taken into the feet, poor clearance. Comes to Samuel. Samuel, I don't think there's too much danger. Then bang, hits it across the keeper. He can do nothing about it, and the relief on his face that it hits the post and goes away. Newcastle have really got to weather this storm right now.
Yeah.
Just get their composure back, and how the pendulum has swung in St Bernard's favour. We've seen it over the last 2 days. You cannot rely on anything. Sun glaring in the eyes of the spectators here in this stand below us, looking out across the field.
That's a very good throw there to Malarkey, who found himself a bit of space in the centre of the pitch.
Talk about Newcastle having to just weather this phase of the game. Similarly, St Bernard's want to sort of hang on to this impetus that they've got.
Substitution, number 7 is coming off. So William Hodgson, and on comes Dylan Roberts for Newcastle.
Yeah, Hodgson's done really, really well.
Looks like it's just a straight swap. Looks like we don't have any changing of positions quite yet. Well, this has suddenly got interesting. Bobby Johnson looks to switch over for Jake Scott on the far right. Scott's not had much of the ball in this second half. What are we? It's nearly halfway through the second half already. This game has gone so quickly, and Scott, who had a lot of possession in the first half, has really been fairly isolated in the second half. There's a lovely little drifted ball in. And St Bernard's do well to clear there. Good covering by the number 5, Frank Cotter. Nice tackle there from Amasanti. He likes to fancies playing a similar ball over to Abanda again. Fletcher, the ball at his feet, and that's risky, that is. Tries to play it through a player.
Yeah, I think we just saw it the once in the first half, didn't we? Where that ball was played down the channel, Abanda got on the end of it, ran into the space. I think it was on that occasion, from memory, it was Oliver Fletcher getting back and getting a tackle in, but on that occasion showed him a clean pair of heels. And again, just now we see that space that St Bernard's have got to try and exploit.
into possession of
The
Newcastle.
shoulder of the centre halves in between the fullback.
Looking for a pass.
Malarkey inside to De Bol. Looks to playing Scott. Scott's pulled a little bit inside. Malarkey's free on the left. And this is where St Bernard's had issues in the first half. Not really any pressure on the midfield, and Newcastle able to just pass the ball at their leisure as St Bernard's almost just walk around. Scott tries to go solo, which is not his bag, and now here's the breakaway. It's Desange. Oh, that's a lovely touch. The referee oh no, the referee has pulled up. Oh no, that's not going to be in his book of the coaches have got hands on their heads around us.
Well, that's the inexperience of the referee, isn't it, and the frustration of the players. I mean, however much they're going to remonstrate, and the coaches are disappointed on the sidelines, they can't turn the clock back. It is a dreadful decision. I mean, it is a tug back by Oliver Fletcher, without a doubt.
We might see
you cannot
card, maybe
speak highly enough of Desange and the speed at which he got away then. Absolutely brilliant to get the toe in once and then twice. There.
Beautiful.
And then just here. And then it's the release. You'll see the little tug back here. Pull on the shirt, sleeve, gets across. You think that number 5, George Riley, the captain, is going to get across and get the tackle.
Yeah.
And it'll spare the blush of the referee. He doesn't get near it.
No. Well, sure, the referee is feeling as gutted as most of us here. You know, that's the difficulty. He'd blown the whistle. He thought the tackle was going to come in from Riley, didn't he? And if he'd have just waited another second, he'd have known.
Newcastle, what have we got to respond with? There they are. It's the slow burner.
Number 15 has come off for Newcastle, which is Phil D'Agostini, D'Agostino, who was a substitute himself, and just trying to see who came on there. But D'Agostini, who came on for the injured Zach Munier earlier, well, he's gone off, and we'll just keep an eye on the numbers in a second. We'll just take this through. Here's Desange. In fact, that's Munier come back on. You can just see number 11 there. So he's had a good rest actually. He came off after only 10 minutes, and he's had a whole half. And obviously feeling a little bit better for things, and obviously brings them a little bit of an extra attacking option down the left-hand side, does Munier. Good play from Cotter inside. Almasanti threatens the big shot, but mishits. And St Bernard's.
Yeah, Liam Kathingi did well there, didn't he? Flipped the ball into Almasanti, who had the shot.
And that's been left. That's gone out of play there from Scott. He just delayed his pass, and all of a sudden Newcastle are the team that are under the cosh a little bit, and all the play is in their half of the pitch.
Well, they got that second goal and felt comfortable, and no wonder they felt comfortable, because St Bernard's really hadn't offered anything up until that point, the first 50 minutes of this game. So they were just sort of in the comfort zone. St Bernard's offering nothing until the last 10 minutes, and now the pendulum swung in their favour. They're on the front foot, they're pushing players forward, they've got the confidence, and the whole game shifted 20 metres up the pitch. Newcastle finding it difficult to hit the target man of James Harper, and then gets the support, get any sort of good possession under their belt. So full credit to St Bernard's.
Absolutely. Good play here, and it has been in midfield. They may not be racing around trying to win the ball back, but we have seen some very solid tackles coming in, and here again, St Bernard's, I don't know if maybe Newcastle are not passing the ball about as much as they did in the first half, and we're also seeing Newcastle trying a little bit more of a direct approach and trying to sort of play the ball through midfield and with individuals, and that's almost playing into the St Bernard's style, really. It certainly seemed that they passed the ball around a lot more in the first half. And when they try and go past individuals one for one, we're seeing that St Bernard's are getting the tackles in. There's the ball. Gets a little nudge as he kicks the ball forward, and the referee gives the free kick.
Yeah, it's just funny when Newcastle got that second goal just after half time. I think around about 42 minutes or so. They really did look like the team total control, and I feared it was going to become one-sided. And that amazing moment, wasn't it, where James Harper in front of goal could have made it 3, and then suddenly Thomas Abanda goes up the other end, gets the goal, 2-1.
Malarkey with a free kick.
Things are different.
They've got 6 in the box here, and there's a that's a bit of a waste. He's really trying to put pressure on the goalkeeper with the kick, but ends up going too much. Gupta, reserve goalkeeper, who's been very good. Looks very accomplished goalkeeper. Does Harry Gupta, number 13. And he produced that important save from Harper, which really has kept his team in it, especially now they've got on the scoreboard themselves. That's a lovely ball from Amasanti. Under a fair bit of pressure there. Connor Bardwell with the throw. Looking up at Abanda, number 9, but goes short. Desange. He's got a bit of a skill set to him for sure. Also got a yellow card to his name.
15 minutes left.
Bardwell.
Of play. As I say, both sides going to be needing some support.
A bit of an up and under there from Amasanti, just for something different perhaps. There's a little collision. Nothing, he was going for the ball there. But the referee's given the foul. We're now going to have a free kick in a pretty dangerous position.
Yeah, he's okay. It was the 2 number 8s coming together, and I did feel that De Bol maybe didn't go for the ball. He did just lean into the player, the shoulder.
Referee's he's having a chat with a lot of people now. No, he's having a chat with Abanda, who's possibly still having a little moan about the earlier decision where St Bernard's were through on goal. Like, oh, you really do think that it was a one-on-one at the end of the day. What if? You've got to get on with it. It's happened, and there's St Bernard's have got 7 in the box here, so they're really pushing up. In fact, there's only 6 St Bernard's defenders there, and in fact they've decided they need to bring one out the wall because of this. So St Bernard's have pushed extra men up. And
go in that channel between the goalkeeper and the defenders. He's gone for goal. Ooh, just thought for a moment that was gone through his hands, but yes, safely collected. Went for goal.
Heart in the mouth moment for Max Metcalf there, who's plays his football at Middlesbrough. Part of their academy setup. That's Desange. Lovely skills from Desange. Individually, St Bernard's do have some excellent skills, and they're really starting to play some wonderful music here. Samuel takes a knock from behind and goes down. Here's Bardwell on the right-hand side, looking to swing this one in. Does well, still fighting for the ball, does really well, does Bardwell. Desange makes himself available inside. Now there's an extra man for St Bernard's here, and a swing over the top. This could be an opportunity. It's loose in the 6-yard box. But
I thought we were going to see an overhead kick or something there.
Yes,
we needed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Akpata.
Just hanging up in the air.
I mean, he had to. He didn't have time to head it and try. Or maybe he could have chested it, but he had to just kill the ball instantly and get the shot away. He could have gone for the spectacular.
Corner's been given. So it must have just crept out up there. Yes, another day. I think he might have. Corner yet again is wasted at the near post. It's really let them down. Those corners from the left-hand side have really been a disappointment for them. Samuel missed the ball, but covered by Cotter. Samuel, now it's St Bernard's who are getting a lot of time in midfield. We were never allowed this time in the first half, and well, now Akpata, who's possibly still fretting
Newcastle
about
ball, the referee overruling the official there, and he's bowed to his better judgment. I felt the referee got it right in the first place.
Yes, the linesman, interesting communication, and the linesman was adamant, and there was some sort of visible physical communication where he was saying to the ref, "I'm 100% sure." So fair play. He may have been wrong though.
He was.
Yes. Well, it all evens itself out as the player goes up that very impressive tunnel there. I think that's where the ambulances come in if needed, and the groundsmen do all their work, bringing the machinery in.
Yeah, aren't they called vomituals or something?
Vomitories.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that a from ancient Rome? Thank you, director. Is that a big vomitory then in the corner? What is? Just a surface entrance. Thank you. Okay, Gupta put himself under a bit of pressure. That was a heavy touch, and Harper closed down, and the ball, when he really needed to keep possession, ended up giving it away. But St Bernard's are in trouble a little bit at the back here. And that's probably the worst ball that could have happened for Newcastle, because they had players free, left and middle, and that ball just went straight through to the goalkeeper. So not good play there from the left back, Bobby Johnson. Just needed to find another blue shirt and they would have been in a great situation. Foul was being given. Fascinating game. How the momentum has just moved towards St Bernard's, and you just feel if there's one team going to score now, it is the team in yellow. Yeah,
I'm going to have to leave the player of the match until the last possible minute, I think, because I've just got a sense that it's a tough decision anyway at the moment. I've got a whole list of names. Really one that stood out beyond anybody. I just feel like there's somebody's going to make such an impact in these final 10 minutes. Oh, there's a header. Ooh.
Well, one of the shortest players on the pitch there, which number 11, Akpata, getting up for that one and actually beating two players who were both taller than him.
Well, Akpata's been in there and had these opportunities, hasn't he? Desange has really come alive in this second half.
Great shot on Steve Harper, blowing his cheeks out, looking at the watch. Here's a player with Premiership experience in abundance, and he's still feeling it there.
He's not enjoying this, is he?
Harry Gupta, very free and able to come out of his box and clear up behind. Desange wins the header. Two players are offside there for Newcastle. Linesman itching to get his flag up, but doesn't need to. That's a good ball from Gupta as well. Akpata.
He's got his work cut out, hasn't he? Over there, Will Varley doing well, the right back for Newcastle, sticking at it.
Samuel. Little 1-2 with Obibingi. But ball given away. Newcastle will have the throw. 4 more matches to come. Hello. You're on the screen.
It's his moment.
I actually get a chance for a cup of coffee. John, you have to work 5 matches today. I only get 3. We have Sir Clive Tilsley, the king of commentators on ITV, is coming to give us 2 games. The games 2 and 3.
You're the prince, aren't you? Yeah, he's the king.
He is, and it's always amazing to see the amount of preparation work he's done, and his information.
Clive is just unbelievable. Oh, here's a chance.
Oh, this is a great ball forward.
Oh, he's going to get back and cover that.
Cotter does superbly.
Yeah, he's brilliant to work with. I've had the pleasure of working with him here before. And you're right, his preparation is phenomenal. His notes, speaking to the coaches, and those listening in and watching, and the players when they hear it back will just have the greatest pleasure of hearing a proper professional just give it the full works and approach it as if it's the FA Cup final, a World Cup final. Any massive game that he's covered throughout such an illustrious career. Brilliant.
St Bernard's pushing forward there. It is fascinating to see some of the top commentators and how much work they put into to these matches, and how I've worked as a commentator at a few games, worked at the European Olympics, and that was a lovely skill there from Samuel, just getting back to the match for a second, and that's a free kick. And Samuel, and there's a yellow card for Malarkey.
Well, they've
Samuel coming alive here.
Yeah, it's really come alive, hasn't it? Things have changed so significantly. When I look at that first half, and Hodgson, De Bol, Malarkey, the three of them dominating in midfield. Now it's the likes of Samuel, Desange, really, Amasanti.
They really have.
Really got the upper hand in this second half.
Rory Nicholson is the reserve goalkeeper. Looks like he's ready to come on any moment for Newcastle. He saved a penalty to give Newcastle a 2-1 win, as that one's just wasted there.
It's quite a moment, isn't it? If he does come on in the 5 minutes to go,
yeah, with your
team 2-1 up, I mean.
Yes, in most situations this substitution would not happen, but of course this is a major final, and yes, in round 3 he saved a penalty in the second half to give them a 2-1 victory. Actually that was round 5 against Winterton Community Academy. It looks like he's going to be coming on right now. The board is up. Number 1 off, number 1 on. Officially, I think number 13, but he's wearing another one shirt. And off comes Max Metcalf, who's had a very good game in goals. He's not had lots to do, but he's been much busier in this second half.
Yeah, his handling's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah. So great to see. These goalies love the pink outfits, don't they, these days? Bright orange yesterday.
They've got much of a choice, have they? The coaches come to them and say, you know, look, we're thinking about getting the kit, and what do you prefer?
Yeah,
pink, neon green.
I know there was a psychological in the good old days when I used to wear a bright top similar, because I always thought it put the forwards off if they were going.
You were struggling for every advantage you could get, weren't you?
The thing was, my shirts were always XXL.
So I mean, what with your boots and the colours of the boots, and
used to wear red
shirts
boots
and the
well.
colours.
Yeah.
You've got to think about the colours of things, haven't you?
But I always used to think that you know, if you had a bright shirt on, and you can see I'm not a petite guy. I didn't used to carry as much weight as I do now, of course. But I always felt that if there was a cross coming in and you were coming out, that the fact you're wearing such a bright shirt, it would actually, the forward would see you out the corner of his eye and be.
I can see some logic in that. I'm not totally convinced by it, but I can see the logic.
Here's an opportunity for Malarkey, but Cotter puts that one out. So John Scales is just having to think of his man of the match for today. I think, am I giving away too much? I think he's actually asking the cameraman if they have any ideas.
Of course I wouldn't do that.
There's a cleaning lady just down below. Shall we ask her? Oh, sorry, it's a cleaning man. Sorry, I do apologise. I've just realised he's just cleaning up the seat. We'll.
No, when I'm looking at the
Jake Scott has just come off, by the way.
Leather match.
And
yeah, Scott's done really well. Had a great first half, but been very, very quiet in the second half.
Cole Cartmel has come on up front. He's gone straight to the centre forward position, and it looks like Harper has gone out to the right side now. So Cartmel is playing up front, pretty much on his own, and they're giving everybody. It's great to see. They're giving everybody a run. It looks like Miles Percy is about to come on as well for Newcastle. There's a shot from distance from De Bol. Gupta's going to have to come and get this because Harper's on it.
Couldn't it?
Oh, missed kick from Gupta, but he's recovered well. Well done.
Well done.
Getting involved up there.
Oh, man of the match, help. Yes, tricky.
Always a great ball in. Well, the man of the match could well be decided, and De Bol has put the ball in the net. Newcastle look as if they've sealed this win right at the death. And it's De Bol who scores. Lucas De Bol. What a great ball through it was to him. And well, did the substitutions work? Here we go. Let's watch this again.
Watch this ball from Malarkey. Brilliant.
What a ball. What a ball that was. And De Bol still had plenty to do there to actually score. He'd got 2 players around him. A couple of substitutions below us here. Martin Bain is coming on. In fact, everybody's coming on. Ogu Chukwu, Parth Patel and Mehmet Fassan all coming on. 12, 14, 15 and 16 for St Bernard's, and there's a range of players. Look like coming off. Munir has just come off for Newcastle, and number 16 Miles Percy is on. More numbers coming off here. If we can just see, Akpata is off. Liam Kithingi is off. Akpata is, Demwe Akpata is a little bit inconsolable out there. And rightly so, you know, he was involved in one of the big moments of the match, which really was quite controversial. He was through on goal and the whistle was blown for an earlier foul when really, and I think we all agree that the whistle should have stayed in the referee's hand. And well, it could have been all so different. 2-2, who'd have known what would have gone on from there on in.
Yeah, my man of the match is going to go to Oliver Malarkey, number 10 for Newcastle. Just, I think he's on the ball now. I think he's had an exceptional game. First half, been quiet, as Newcastle have in the second half, but I think, as I said, not surprising that they're going to give up possession in the second half. I think the influence that he had in that first half, the way that he played, I love the link-up play between himself and De Bol and Hodgson in midfield. And that ball was the epitome of his vision and his class for that third goal that was scored by James Harper.
Well, Newcastle have sealed his victory, but it's been a really spirited performance here from St Bernard's.
Yeah, I've got to give, I think, special credit as well to Harvey Desange, number 13 for St Bernard's. He was the catalyst that made that sort of comeback really come alive.
It's a strong challenge there from Cole Cartmel.
You know, there was some excellent play. Samuel, the captain, gave it a good go.
He sent Martin Bain, the St Bernard substitute, flying there with that challenge.
Yeah.
He's a big lad and definitely a bit of a mismatch there. And Newcastle just taking their time here. They know that they don't really have to do anything. There's no real rush. The referee will, as already said, he stopped his clock for the second. And
I think the 2 centre-halves for Newcastle have done brilliantly. George Riley, Oliver Fletcher.
Oh, wonderful skills from De Bol, looking for another. St Bernard's. Well, time is going to run out. We are already in injury time. I don't think we've had 4 minutes announced, so only 2 more minutes to go here. Not enough time to score 2 goals for sure. As Newcastle finish as they started here, just getting a bit more pressure in themselves. And St Bernard's had their purple patch and given away there. Amasanti is fouled.
Oh, he's got to be careful he doesn't get sent off, hasn't he? Malarkey, I think he got a yellow card, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got a yellow to his name, and
I just remembered that. It'd been embarrassing for me had he gone and got a second yellow and sent off.
Yeah. Got to be careful, haven't you? Was it Steve Moran from Manchester United who got sent off in the FA Cup final, and they didn't give him a Cup Winners' medal?
Did they not?
Yeah, and they changed the rule after that.
There you go, there's your all your papers gone, your team sheets, the whole lot. And suddenly the gust of wind from nowhere.
Well, I don't really use them anyway, as you've possibly noticed. Not very good at using them. But yes, it was. I think it was Steve Moran who's he got sent off in the FA Cup final. Oh, our Stato director must surely know this, or he'd probably Google it. But yeah, he didn't get the medal, and they changed the rules after that. Was it the old days of the FA?
Have their moments, don't
they? Yes, there was probably a 50-page rule book about what happens if a player's sent off.
He's done really well, hasn't he, Dosanjh? Stuck
Yeah.
at it. You know, their heads didn't drop. I mean, the greatest thing I've seen with this St Bernard's team is that they came out in that second half. They conceded the second goal where other teams would have just suddenly crumbled, and they didn't. They stuck at it. They got a goal back, and so huge credit to them.
Here's Harper with the orange boots. It's great to see a lot of the substitutes are all getting a run out for both teams now. New dollar numbers I need to learn, of course. Miles Percy there with the ball swung in from the left-hand side. It's okay, you don't get any of this with Clive. he just lists them as if he's known them all his life.
I know.
Yeah. Samuel trying to put in a big push. Here's the ball. And Cotter, who's had an excellent game at the back as Cotter.
Yeah, he has. I think both of them as well. Bannon and Cotter. Times you've seen them fly into those channels. They've got good pace, good awareness at the back. So I've been impressed with all four centre halves, got to be honest. But well done, Newcastle.
The final whistle has gone. The players are lying on the pitch. There's disappointment out there. But again, one of the things that's always lovely to see in these events, some real sportsmanship between the two teams, and there's Newcastle players helping up St Bernard's players and commiserating. There's a really high quality match in this under-15 Small Schools Cup final. Good quality match, considering this is a small schools final as well. And Newcastle School for Boys win this match by 3-1 over St Bernard's Catholic Grammar School. And you see the team shaking hands there. Some always lovely to see. Real sportsmanship shown by both teams. Let's have a quick look now at the goals from this match with John Scales.
Yeah, great work out here by Scott, star of the first half. Little ball into the man of the match. And there he is, the wide player, Bobby Johnson, coming onto the end of that lovely ball from Oliver Malarkey. They really dominated the early proceedings, didn't they? That first 40 minutes. A lovely hook into the far corner. And that was the opener. Bobby Johnson putting it in that dangerous area just between the two centre halves. They're backing towards their goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can't come out and get it. And the second one, well, again, good work here. De Bol, who was excellent throughout as well. The shot comes across. And then horrible moment for Ossie Obamingi. He went on to play really well the second half, Obamingi, but he'll dread seeing this moment again. Put into his own net with his right foot, trying to make that clearance. De Bol doing well, getting to the byline, getting it across the goal, and there it is. Oh, head in his hand. The frustration. It's really one of those miserable moments, isn't it? And well, you think, are they going to get back in this game? And look at Thomas Abanda's pace. Gets away from the absolutely outstanding Oliver Fletcher. The one and only time. Just using that raw pace, gets across the defender as everybody should, and then takes it out to the left, and then with the outside of the right foot into that far corner. Great finish. Lovely ball over the top into that space. Two centre halves trying to push up. And coming back into 2-1, and then they had a chance to get back to 2-2. I think it was Samuel hit the post. I think we'll see that, but how the game could have been very different. What a lovely ball there from Oliver Malarkey. He spins away in delight. Lucas De Bol. Fantastic celebration. Puts the game beyond doubt, but as I just mentioned, Could have been so different had Samuel's shot not hit that post. And they had that spell of where they came right back into that game. In the end, Newcastle take the plaudits rightly. For most of the game, they're in the ascendancy. Take nothing away from St Bernard's, though. Congratulations to both teams. And, well, Newcastle School for Boys, this under-15 small schools final. They come away as champions. Huge congratulations to them. 3-1.
Well, the presentations are just taking place below us. Clive Tildesley has been given the job of giving out some of these awards nice and early. And we're going to just cover the presentations. I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Clive Tildesley for the next couple of games alongside John Scales. So John gets to work with a professional for a change, and we'll be back. I'll be back in a few matches' time as the girls are out there. The man of the match has just been presented to Oliver Malarkey, who gets to take a nice little PlayStation home with him. I'll be back shortly. I'll just go and talk to the coach.
Oliver Malarkey winning himself a PS4. Fantastic stuff there. What a game. Greatly deserved. What a game. I think he's going to have a new MySpace picture here. Fantastic stuff. Now your runners up. They played their hearts out. They did ever so well. What a fantastic game they had. Please go for your runners up here. St Bernard's, make some noise for them. So presenting the runner-up medals, ITV commentator Clive Tildesley, and awarded to number 1, Harry Gawler, number 2, Connor Bardwell, player 3, Ossie Ombiginhi, 4, Dominic Bannon, 5, Frank Potter, in 6, Liam Kivingi, 13, Harvey Gosanga, player 8 and captain Samuel, number 9, Thomas Abdana, number 10, Charlie Amasanti, player 11, Demwi Akapta, player 12, Martin Bain, player 13, the substitute keeper, Harry Gupta, player 14, Toby Ubu player 15, Parth Patel, and 16, Previn Maria Thatan. Please make some noise for the runner-ups of the 2018 PlayStation Schools Cup Final, St Bernard's Catholic Grammar School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your phones at the ready. Your winners, Newcastle School for the boys. Please, a huge round of applause for each of the players. Goalkeeper, Max Metcalf. And Rory Nicholson, substitute keeper. Number 2, Will Varley. In 3, Bobby Johnson. Number 4, Dylan Roberts. Player 6, Oliver Fletcher. 7, William Hodgson. Player 8, Lucas DeBall. In 9, James Harper. Player 10, Manamas Malarkey. In 11, Zach Manier. Player 12, Jake Scott. 14, Cole Hartnell. In 15, Phil to Sancheon. We'll get there. And 16, Miles Percy. And finally, number 5, your captain, George Riley. Please put your hands together for the 2018 PlayStation School Cup champions! As we get given the cup now, my favourite part. Give it up for him, here we go, the explosion! Here we go, come on, you there! Better, inspirational, celebratory, glorious music at the beautiful Newcastle Stadium on a beautiful day, watching the beautiful game. Did you see what I did just there, James? Thank you very much for that.
With me is Mark Rochester, the coach for St Bernard's. Mark, I think it was one of those up and down games for you today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually. I'm very proud of the boys though. That's 2 national finals back to back. Unfortunately, we have not actually come through in one. However, in the second half, it did get very close, and the boys. Full credit to them. There was a big effort in the second half. I think there was a decision that could have gone our way, but that's football. And I can't take it away from the Newcastle boys. Very well deserved, and I hope they have. They've done their schools very proud, and we're very proud of our boys.
And so you should be. You know, we've got to have a competition here with hundreds and hundreds of schools that have entered, and you've got through to the final. You've come so close in a match that could have really gone either way, haven't you?
Absolutely, and as I said, I think last year I said the same thing. Some of these boys won't realise that actually to play in 2 national finals, they might never do that again in their lives. And to play on a stadium and a surface like this, you know, it's full credit to them.
Yeah. Newcastle team themselves, or what a team they are, and you know that big lads. You know, we looked at the lineup beforehand, we could see that there was a size difference, but you know the skills that your lads showed. At the end of the day, going on your coach home tonight, you know they will be very proud of them, and you must be very proud of them.
Yeah, very proud. The whole school's very proud, and you know the boys work hard. They put the effort in. Their football did their talking. Actually, you know they do play good football, and football is a cruel game, and but they will learn from it, and hopefully we'll go again next year.
Mark, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck. Thank you, Mark. Thank you indeed.
Just while we wait, can I just ask a quick question to the audience members, very, very easy. Do we have any Durham Johnson school fans here? Just a very simple next question, nothing too difficult. Do we have any Blenheim High School fans here? Oh, look, if you're over there, Blenheim, do you want to come over here so we can get you all into one kind of area, just so we can keep an eye on you, and then we can get all the loudest and all the energy, and then we'll have all the other fans over in the middle bit here from Durham Johnson. And then we'll be underway soon. We're just going to have a final interview, so I shall be quiet.
Well, with me is Steve Harper, one of the coaches here for Newcastle. Steve, you've got a load of Premiership experience yourself, but I saw you blowing your cheeks and look a little bit nervous on the edge of the pitch here today.
Yeah, they put St Bernard's, credit them, they put us under a lot of pressure second half, and we just started panicking a little bit and sat a little bit deep, got a bit detached from the front player, and we just started panicking. So it's different when you're out there and you can affect it, but when you're on here you can't affect it as much. But they find a way, this bunch of boys. We won it at under 11s and a special day you would never forget at Aston Villa in a monsoon. But to come here, you know, thanks to PlayStation and the English schools for putting it on and bringing us to a fantastic venue. And what an opportunity. I said that to them before, you know, they were nervous, but nerves are good. Yeah. But they have to use it and see it as an opportunity, and I think we did that as well. But it was a tough day in very hot conditions. But like I said, this bunch of boys, credit to them.
You have to give credit to St Bernard's as well, because, you know, it was looking, there was Harper at the front as well, who nearly had a chance to make it 3-0, and then suddenly they went and scored, and they were right back in it. You've got to give them credit, haven't you?
Yeah, it was my son that missed the chance. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that as well. Yeah, I've got to give them huge credit. You know, the coach at half-time obviously tactically changed it a little bit and got them fired up, and we got a fortunate goal, which gave us a bit of breathing space as well. And don't want to talk in cliches, 2-0 is a dangerous score, and we knew, we'd watched them, we knew Abanda up front was a threat, and the one chance he took it very well. Looks a good player. And like I said, we just panicked a little bit and sat off, which is only natural. You see that in Premier League football. And we just panicked a little bit, but we just tried to lock it down and rely on a little bit of magic. Yeah. And we managed to get that, which won us the game.
Finally, the team have won a major national title. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of schools have entered this, and they've come out number one again. So, you know, you've got a long journey back up north, but that coach is going to be buzzing today.
Well, they've got an exam on Friday, so they're supposed to be revising. There's a teacher on the bus. I think there's not much chance of that as well, so hopefully they can resit that. Yeah, I mean, for us as a school, Newcastle School for Boys, it is a small school, but I think you can see the spirit it fosters amongst the boys, what just rounded, good young men they are, and when they face adversity like we did in that second half, they find a way. We try to teach them to play the right way all the way through, and when you see the rewards and the fruits of it today, you know, credit to everybody at the school.
Absolutely. Steve Harper, thank you very much for talking to us. Take care, and well done, Newcastle School for Boys.